tables have turned. That was an incredible catch.
It seems that hammers are not all equal, at least in destruction.
No, there was...
Was that delivered, that scene?
Yeah, it wasn't on the page either. We were just on set one day, and the second unit director who was shooting that action sequence was... she said, oh, what if we put a hammer in the scene and have it over here? And we all kind of rolled our eyes and thought, nah, that'll be ridiculous. And then we did it a few times, and it made us laugh, and we thought, oh, let's put it in the movie. And a nice little nod to the Marvel fans.
What weapons you like better? Those fancy, shiny super guns, or the hammer?
I mean, the hammer, is probably more impressive in a lot of ways, but it was nice just for something different, to use these gadgets and these weapons, and in particular the car where all these weapons come from, the petrol tank and the exhaust pipe and the side view mirrors, all sorts of, the rocket launchers and so on. It was cool, and then the neuralizer would come in pretty handy too. So.
Yes, it looked more fun.
Yeah,
more varieties to deal with. Nearly in all the movies you play now, they are the big blockbusters,
right?
The money makers, the studio stuff. Is that deliberate on your part?
It's just sort of what's come my way, and just prior to this, I did Bad Times at the El Royale, which was a smaller drama and thriller, and that was fantastic. It was kind of like a stage play. There was so much dialogue and interwoven sort of nuanced kind of characters and manipulating characters and good and bad and questions and bigger conversations, and I loved that, and that fed one part of my soul. And then I pick up a script like this and I go, oh, this looks like a hell of a time. It looks like a fun ride, and why not? It's also harder and harder to get an audience to a cinema, and I think films like this is sort of what there is a thirst and hunger for at this point, and whether that'll change and go in a different direction, and I'll try and change with it. And
financially, you're right. It makes more sense because it's safer.
Yeah,
more security. But is it as fulfilling as doing the acting, as you say, theater acting, drama acting?
It's different. It's different. Yeah, it's like going to work every day and laughing and having fun, and improvising, and do all sorts of crazy action, and flying around the world. And we shot, from London to Morocco and Italy and Paris. Is like it's fantastic. That was big appeal to me. And then doing something smaller and acting, just performance, no special effects or anything. As I said, is speaks to a different part of the artistic part of me, And I don't know that there's one I prefer over the other. It's the combination that I prefer. If I just did one of them all the time, I'd probably get pretty bored. But going back and forth, I think, is what keeps me invested in a greater way. And I learn more from doing the two. And I've had many people who have come from independent world and onto a sort of a film like this, and have said, oh, wow, I had no idea. I have a greater appreciation for these films now, because you still got to put in the same amount of work, and you've still got to work, just as hard to make these stories and moments truthful and so on. And so I think the assumption is that one is easier than the other or more artistic or whatever. But for me, I still put the same commitment into all of it. So, yeah.
And you and I had a fight recently.
Did I win?
No, I won, easily.
Doesn't sound right.
Well, that's true.
We're gonna need a bigger boat.
Hey guys, check it out!
Kevin, come inside!
I was born to be a Ghostbuster, all right?
In many of the characters you play, although they are action heroes, they're doing tough things, but you always color them with humor.
Yeah.
Is that on the script, or you bring it in yourself?
A bit of both, I think. Initially, I don't think there was quite as much sort of humour when I first read it, and I did want to sort of ramp that up. I just think it's more enjoyable. I just think it's also, humour's really accessible, and especially in a larger scale blockbuster kind of setting. And I learned that from Robert Downey Jr., watching him, the first Iron Man, it just helps ground it, no matter how big and sort of, otherworldly it's all becoming, it instantly kind of connects you with an audience. I think it's disarming, and And I don't know, I like sort of ticking a few boxes within the genre rather than sort of sticking to one, one version.
Catching up on my daily meditation. Time for lunch, I think. You hungry?
It's 9:30.
Perfect. Tuesday's taco day.
But do you feel that it is more attractive to the audience? Because, I mean, the themes of these stories are all the same.
Yeah.
Everything it hinges on your performance and making it more fun.
Yeah.
Do you feel that?
I think so, yeah. I think I became really aware of when people responded to Thor in different ways and different versions of that character. The comedic side of him as that evolved was definitely a bigger win. And it also kind of just, for my own enjoyment, if I'm sort of in a box and it becomes a bit predictable and feels safe and I know this is how the hero acts, it just is kind of boring. And then I think if it's boring for me, it's probably boring for an audience. So I do think people enjoy, enjoy it a little bit more and yeah.
Chris, thank you so
Thanks,
much.
buddy.
That's fun.
Thank you.